responsible.
Good afternoon, thank you very much and welcome here to MW Hire O'Moore Park in Portlaoise. 3 down, 1 to go. We will know our 4 Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie semi-finalists at the end of our next game. It's the meeting of Kerry and Meath. The sun is out here in County Laois and we're really looking forward to this battle. I'm Darren Kelly, joined by Elaine Aylwood. And Elaine, a game to really look forward to. A Kerry team to start off the championship on fire with 3 wins before suffering a couple of defeats against a Meath team that have discovered their mojo since after 3 early defeats.
Yeah, it's 2 teams really on different paths, I suppose, coming into today's quarter-final. As you said, Kerry started the championship really, really well and have gradually gone downhill maybe in the last 2 games and have suffered 2 defeats and a heavy one last weekend against Galway, whereas, as you said, Meath on the other side started probably a little bit slower but have been building, and a huge win for them last week against Kilkenny, which ultimately put Kilkenny, I suppose, out of the championship and put Meath here today. So probably a little bit of a revenge mission maybe for, I know they were very disappointed leaving Nolan Park last year and Kilkenny went on to contest that All-Ireland final, so Meath maybe with a little bit of revenge on their mind getting back to the knockout stages, and they're certainly going to give themselves a good chance here today.
As you mentioned, we were in Nolan Park for the All-Ireland semi-final last year between Meath and Kilkenny, but after the way they started off this championship, especially the first day when they lost to Derry, who were victors in our opening match here earlier on, even in Meath they were talking about safety in intermediate this year, coming off the back of winning the Leinster Championship. But the last 2 results, a victory against Kildare, many might have expected, but the results against Kilkenny last week, the margin maybe not.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it was the margin that made people sit up, and I know that Kilkenny team has probably changed a little bit from the team last year, with a couple of players having made the step up to the senior level, but still Meath had to go and get that victory, and they did. And as you said, I think it was 11 points was it in at the end, so a real statement of intent. And I suppose the slow start to the championship had question marks over them a little bit, but the type of a championship it is, you could afford to maybe drop a couple of early points, and once the momentum was with you then coming near the end of it, you're putting yourself in a really good place to get to the knockout stages.
And even when you look at the Meath team and the players that they have, you kind of ask yourself, why were they in that position in the first place? But led by Jane Dolan, there's Aoife Minogue, Aideen Slarry, Aoife Maguire, many more I'm leaving out there too as well in defence too. They've all stepped up in the last couple of games, and as you mentioned, to bring that momentum into it, it's a 3rd consecutive week they're now playing well.
Yeah, and as you said, look, it's that kind of experience, you can't buy it, and we saw it here in the first half, in the first game today, Dublin, I suppose, young, a little bit inexperienced, and when Derry really needed it, it was their experienced players that stood up. And look, there won't be a lack of experience on either side today, but a lot of this Meath team will already have played senior camogie, they've won an All-Ireland intermediate title in the last couple of years, they have that kind of experience, and I'm sure the hunger to get back there is massive.
Of course, the team that's just coming out there behind us is the Kerry team as well. We mentioned that disappointing defeat for themselves in Athenry last week. They have to shake that off. They were missing Jackie Horgan. We don't know if she's playing yet today or not, but they do have a good calibre of players, even if their squad is very, very small. Yeah,
look, you speak of experience, and I suppose, and it's right through the heart of that Kerry team, be it at club level with Clanmorris or through the Kerry County team themselves. And they've really galvanised themselves, I suppose, and under Ian Brick come back really, really competitive again in this championship, and they'll be anxious to get back up to Croke Park, or certainly to a semi-final from here today and on to Croke Park from there. And look, they're a really formidable team. I suppose they're working from a small panel of players, a small panel of clubs, I suppose, in Kerry, but yet they find themselves at the knockout stages again. As you said, the result last weekend is probably a bit of a dampener coming into a knockout game. You probably want to be coming in with a bit of momentum, but look, as you said, they're missing a couple of players, missing Jackie Horgan. If she's here today, it could be a real game changer for Kerry.
It will be a massive change to them as well. And of course, you touched on there, they were in Grove Park in 2019 when they won the Premier Junior competition. They've held their own in intermediate. This is their 3rd consecutive quarter final. They haven't been too far away in the previous 2. Can it be 3rd time lucky for the Kingdom?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I suppose that the favourites are Meath coming into it with their experience, I suppose, with their trajectory coming in. They're coming on the back of a couple of wins, whereas Kerry are the opposite. But there's just something in me that says you can't just write off Kerry. And look, I fully expect a huge performance for them today. They're going to need it. They're probably going to have to score a couple of goals. They've only scored 2. They haven't scored a goal in their last 4 games, whereas I think Meath have 6 or 8 coming into this game. So Meath have the better scoring average. They're putting up better scores, but they've both conceded similar enough scores coming into today. So look, I think if Jackie Horgan is playing, she's certainly a goal getter for Kerry, and if they can get a couple of goals and rattle Meath early, they'll certainly give themselves a good shot.
Well, it's a game we're looking forward to here on the Camogie Association YouTube channel, brought to you in association with Entry. We have Cork, we have Galway, as you saw earlier on, Derry beating Dublin 123 to 110. The only guarantee we can give you, green and gold will join them though. The jerseys behind us, not quite green and gold, but the Kingdom wear those colours with pride. So do the Royal County. Kerry against Meath, throw in at 4 o'clock, our second Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie Championship quarter-final. Thank you very much and welcome back here to MW Hire Moore Park in Portlaoise. There on your screen, the match referee for this game in the blue jersey is Philip MacDonald from Cavan, wearing his county colours, just talking to the two respective captains. Didn't quite catch how that went, Elaine, but big day for Philip as well, because this is a game that could go all the way. Yeah,
absolutely. You know, the officials, I think, have a huge part to play in these games, especially in the knockout stage. There's a little bit of pressure on him as well, but look, it should be a good tight game, and that's all we want to see, you know, a bit of free-flowing camogie and free-flowing hurling from the two sides.
The number 14 player he just called back there was the Meath captain, Jane Dolan. They're wearing the white jerseys today, as I mentioned already. Both sides known for their green and gold, but it's black against white today. Green skirts for both teams. Jane Dolan, the captain of Meath, wears number 14. The captain for Kerry, wearing number 7, is Rachel McCarthy. Elaine, before we go through the teams, let's talk about the big news breaking here in Portlaoise. Jackie Horgan does start. She wears number 22. The late change coming in, replacing Julianne O'Keefe.
Yeah, look, we spoke about her, I suppose, in the intro there, and you know, she's a huge player both for Clanmorris and for Kerry over the years, and a real goal getter, and that's exactly what we said. You know, Kerry are going to need today, if they're going to trouble Meath, is scores up front and goals up front. And you know, she missed last weekend in Galway through injury and was 50-50 I think to start here today, but she does start, so Kerry will be anxious to get a lot of ball into her at full forward and see what she can do in there.
How important Jackie Horgan is in the 4 games that she's played. She has scored 123 for Kerry, their top scorer by 11 points, ahead of Patrice Diggin, who has 112. Let's look at the Kerry team. In goal, number 1, Emma Lawler. Full back line 2, Elaine Ryle. 3 is Sarah Murphy, and 4, Michelle Costello. The half back line were number 5, Anya O'Connor. Centre back number 6 is Patrice Diggin, and 7, the captain, Rachel McCarthy. In midfield were number 8, Aoife Behan, partnered by number 9, Ellen O'Donoghue. The half forward line 10, Amy O'Sullivan. 11, Cueva Spillane. 12, Anne-Marie Lean. And the inside line, top of the right, number 13, Kate Lynch. Full forward now wearing 22 is Jackie Horgan. Top of the left wearing number 15, Edel Slattery. We talked about the importance of Jackie Horgan. Amy O'Sullivan has done well getting scores this year, but Kerry need more players to step up if they're going to win this match.
Yeah, absolutely, and I suppose that's the trade-off with having Patrice Diggin back at centre back. You know, she shores up that defence, she delivers a lot of good ball in, but probably doesn't get the opportunities to go forward as much as she would from the centre of the field. And look, we all know that the type of player Patrice is and how good she is at getting scores when she gets up there. So look, if she's shoring up the defence, you know, she needs to get some long deliveries in and try and get as much ball, as we said, into Jackie Horgan and into that full forward line.
One thing that Meath do have plenty of scores. There they are practicing on your screen at the moment. Let's look at their team. The 1-15, as was announced last night. Maggie Randall in goal. A full back line of 2, Sophia Payne. 3 is Claire Coffey, and 4, Sonia Leonard. The half back line were number 5, Tracy King. Centre back number 6 is Maeve Clintz, and 7 is Leah Devine. In midfield were number 8, Ellen Burke, partner by number 9, Grace Coleman. The half forward line 10, Aoife Maguire. 11, Amy Gaffney, and 12 is Aoife Minogue. And the inside line, top of the right, number 13, Olivia O'Halloran. Full forward, number 14, the captain, Jane Dolan. And top of the left were number 15, Sinead Hackett.
Yeah, look, I suppose, and it's their full forward, Jane Dolan, as well, that, you know, Kerry will be so well aware of the Meath full forward and the danger and the potential that she has in there. Superb player for Meath over the years, and as I said, look, the momentum is really behind them at the moment, coming in now on the back of 2 wins, you know, disposing of Kildare 2-18 to 2-8, and then that massive victory over Kilkenny last weekend, 3-13 to 11 points. So, you know, they've racked up 6-65 I think en route to today's game, and conceded 8-53. So, you know, they'll be conceding similar enough scores to Kerry, but as I said, they seem to have been able to find that golden touch up front, and if they can get a couple of goals today, it'll ask a lot of questions of Kerry.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the changes from the last day, that game against Galway for Kerry last week. It's 2 changes, Anne-Marie Lean and Jackie Horgan coming into the team, replacing Sarah Lawler and Julianne O'Keefe. 1 change for Meath, Tracy King starts instead of Anya Keogh. Meath won the last time these two teams met recently in 2020, 112 to 1-5. We've talked about their pedigree being semi-finals. Indeed, they were All-Ireland Intermediate champions in 2017, had experience in the senior senior ranks too. The conventional wisdom is that Meath are favourites, but as we talked already beforehand, Kerry aren't coming here just to make up the numbers.
No, absolutely, and I think, you know, if they happen to get any glimpse of that first game here today, or heard any reports of it, they'll know that the favourites tag and the underdogs tag doesn't necessarily play out like that. And we saw Dublin put on a really, really good performance. Ultimately Derry pulled away, but you know, from a Kerry point of view, nothing to lose here today. As you said, Meath will be the favourites in a lot of people's minds, but they've had a mixed enough kind of season. And you know, we saw last year, I suppose, when it got to that All-Ireland semi-final, that they probably didn't produce the performance they were capable of against Kilkenny, and that's ultimately what knocked them out of the championship. So look, Kerry will be looking for Meath maybe to have a little bit of an off day today, and some of their big players to stand up and maybe produce the performance of the year. And if they do that, I certainly wouldn't be writing Kerry off.
We talked about the great news with Jackie Horgan to be playing for Kerry. They've no Daniel O'Leary today, but Elaine Ryle and Anya O'Connor were injury concerns coming into this match as well, all pass fit as well. Kerry, like we followed Clonmorris, we followed Kerry. They can't afford massive injuries. No team can, but especially this Kerry team as well. And when they have this unit together, they're willing to take on anyone. Yeah,
look, it's no secret, I suppose, that they're working off a small enough panel, a small enough pick of clubs in Kerry in general, but it's certainly a small enough inter-county panel and made up of a lot of that Clonmorris team that we followed so well over the last couple of years on their club journey. So no, they can't afford, no more than any team, you know, it hits every team, but some teams I suppose have a deeper reserve to be able to pull into. Kerry don't have that luxury, but I suppose what that does give you with a small knit group is that it gives you that real sense of team camaraderie, friendship. Look, these girls have soldiered together for years at club and county level, so that spirit certainly counts for a lot when the chips are down against you in a knockout championship game.
I remember talking to Brendan Skehan, the Meath manager, after the All-Ireland semi-final defeat to Kilkenny last year, and you know, he was low on the day. You were wondering would he stay on. He did stay on. He led them to a Leinster title, but no doubt, as we touched on the intro there, like losing to Derry, Wexford was the result that caught everyone's attention. They put up a credible performance against Cork, but it wasn't looking good for them, Elaine.
No, it wasn't, and you know, they'd lost their first 3 games, and you know, they were still putting up competitive enough scores, 11 points, 1-12, 11, and then they just seemed to kick into gear maybe after that Cork game. You know, they were defeated by Cork 1-12 to 11 points, but I suppose Cork would be one of the favourites for this championship from the offset and would have been favourites in a lot of people's minds. So whether that performance that Meath put in that day, whether that kick-started their campaign, but they went out the following week and put on a score of 2-18 against Kildare, and then, as I said, that massive game last weekend ultimately got them through to today. And look, there was definitely a bit of hurt last year. As you said, Brendan was very downbeat in Kilkenny last year. You could tell from the players on the field they just hadn't got the performance that they wanted to, and look, it's a long 12 months I suppose to get back to try and right that wrong, but they're here now and they have that chance, so I expect them to take that full opportunity today.
So we're going to have I think a minute's silence before Ron Nafeen here as well. Oh no, we're going straight for Ron Nafeen. It's days like these the camogie players around the country crave for, and for Kerry and Meath, this is the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie Championship quarter-final. Who will join Cork, Galway and Derry in the Final Four in UPMC Nolan Park, Kilkenny in 2 weeks' time? The referee in the middle, Philip McDonald, waiting for both teams. Kerry are doing a final warm-up before throw-in. Meath having a final huddle before they get themselves into position. And it looks like that Meath will be attacking the goal to the left in the first half. A slight breeze here if you're following our opening game in association with entry earlier on when Derry beat Dublin, blowing towards the right. Now it's there, it's mild enough, probably worth a point or two at best, Elaine, but Kerry will have it in the first half.
Yeah, and we saw in that first game it dropped I think pretty soon after throw-in, so I'm not sure it's going to have a huge impact on the game. But look, as I said in the first game, it's an extremely warm day out there. The sun has come out now, so it's probably even warmer for these players than it was in the first game, but you know, that's not going to matter once the game is thrown in. The heated championship battle is going to take over, and both players or both sets of players will certainly go hammers and tongs at it.
Positional switch switch from Meath. Grace Coleman gone to centre forward. Aoife Maguire coming in for the throw-in. Kerry line out as selected. It looks like at the moment we'll keep an eye on more of them. So it's Aoife Behan and Ellen O'Donoghue in there. Kerry in black, Meath in white. Who's going to Nolan Park? We're about to find out as Philip McDonald from Cavan checks his watches before throwing the ball in for the second of our quarterfinals here in Portlaoise. The ball is thrown in, the game is on, and Meath in possession through Aoife Maguire, sending the ball out the far side of the field in the direction of Amy Gaffney. She tries to get inside Michelle Costello. Amy Gaffney with the white boots, a low ball for another player with white boots, and that's Jane Dolan. Jane Dolan, the top scorer out of any player here today with 228 in the championship so far. A Meath Camogie legend, 6 soaring stars. I don't think she's soaring anymore. She'd love to play senior again. A shot at the post for Meath. Going to drop short. Grace Coleman is pushed inside. She gets the ball over the bar. Great skill to hit it on the drop, and Meath in front 1-0.
Yeah, and a super score from Grace Coleman. You don't see this overhead pull too often, but doubled on that one as it was dropping in, and she's moved into centre forward for Meath, picking up Patrice Diggin there, and she'll be happy to have got the first score and to get one up on Patrice so early in the game.
That's a battle that we really look forward to seeing over the course of the 60 minutes here. Play battling down in front of us, and the linesman the near side of the field, who is Mike Flannery from Limerick, says it's a Meath ball and it's going to be taken by Aoife Minogue from the Dundee club, just outside her own, or the Kerry 45 metre line. Plays a short one, trying to pick out Ellen Burke. Ellen Burke is a yellow helmet, as does Aoife Minogue, and Aoife Minogue on the left goes for a shot at the post. It's going to be close with a tail away. The umpire says it just tailed away at the last moment, first wide of the game.
Yeah, but it was a super strike. It had lots of power behind it, just didn't quite get the accuracy on it. But again, Meath just setting the tempo from early. I think from the throw in right away, fast ball into Jane Dolan, and they look to try and get a lot of ball in fast into that inside line.
The goalkeeper for Kerry is Emma Lawler. She'll be disappointed with how that ball went, trickles out over the line, the far side of the field. Going to be another opportunity for Meath to try and create a scoring opportunity, and the sideline cut taken towards the goal area, and just a bit too much purchase on it, but it hasn't gone dead. It's still in play. Kerry need to be very careful. Patrice Diggin back to help them out, and she takes the ball, turns on her right hand side and pucks it away towards the 65 metre line, where she'll hope one of her teammates get on it. But a good touch there by Tracy King from the Kilmessan club. Tracy King on the left looks around for support, but sends it across looking for Ellen Burke. Didn't get there, and it falls for Ellen O'Donoghue, but Ellen O'Donoghue hasn't dealt with it, and Meath are really looking dangerous in the early stages. Jane Dolan trying to work her way inside. The referee says too many steps. A bit unfortunate for Jane Dolan there. Free out for Kerry.
Yeah, just that extra step too many, but you could see her intent. She got around nice fast feet around the Kerry defender, and she could see the space in front, side in front for heading for goal. But on that occasion, Philip McDonald probably got it right, probably just that extra step or two, and a let off for Kerry at the back.
If you're a Meath supporter watching us here in the Camogie Association YouTube channel, you'll be happy with the intent of your team so far after 2.5 minutes, but a long way to go. Kerry with a long range free down towards the half forward line for Caoimhe Spillane. Caoimhe Spillane, where number 11 gets inside the 45 metre line, has support in front. Jackie Horgan is there too. She takes the shoulder, tries to give the ball to Jackie. It goes away from herself and the Meath defender. Caoimhe Spillane on the go again. There's a player inside. She's trying to work her way inside. This is great work from Caoimhe Spillane. She just couldn't make up her mind what she wanted to do with the ball. Tracy King with the clearance for Meath gets it out towards the 65 metre line, and all of a sudden Aoife Maguire can be turning this around. Good hook on the occasion by Ellen O'Donoghue, with a foul committed on the Meath player. Aoife Maguire wins the free.
Yeah, just after hard work was done by Ellen O'Donoghue, got a great hook there, but the ball unfortunately followed through and gave away the free, and a chance for Meath, but a good chance for Kerry at the far end. Probably just ran out of options a little bit when she came in across the end line there. The options weren't across the goal, and as you said, in two minds as to whether she was going to take a score or play it across, and eventually Meath dealt with it well and worked it back out the field.
Aoife Minogue is going to take the free outside the 65 metre line. She's well able to put over the long distance free. She scored 1-9 in the championship so far, 2 of them from place balls. There she goes to the post. It's going to be close. I think it's over the bar. It's gone wide. It's gone wide. And look, the Kerry, it's not when you look at the opposing defence accept their fate, but then the umpire says no, you're okay this time. Yeah,
and it must have dipped right at the last second, because as you said, I think most of the Kerry defence were happy that it had gone over the bar, and they were happy to see it over. It was a massive strike from Aoife around her own 65, and certainly if Kerry are to concede frees around there, she's certainly capable of scoring them.
Kerry just struggling to settle. Sarah Murphy picked up Patrice Diggin, but the ball is given away again, and Meath through Ellen Burke send it down in towards the corner, trying to find a way inside as Sinead Hackett gets the pass off for Jane Dolan. Jane Dolan gives it off to Grace Coleman, has already scored in the match, goes for another shot. That's gone wide too. Good effort there by Rachel McCarthy to take the sting out of the shot.
Yeah, did well to get back there, and a good build-up play again for Meath. Lovely quick hands initially to Jane Dolan and her on into Grace Coleman, who's looking very comfortable, having pushed up to centre forward there, and that's her second shot on the goal.
So Meath, as I mentioned, starting with intent, but not making a count in the scoreboard. Just 1 point to Meath, no score to Kerry. Coming up towards the 5-minute mark here. Kerry have the ball again through Caoimhe Spillane, and Caoimhe just likes to run at the opposing defence. Sending in towards Jackie Horgan, 1-on-1 here. Jackie Horgan can get this ball. Claire Coffey staying very, very tight with her, and it's conceded the foul, so it's going to be a free in for Kerry. And as disappointed as Jackie Horgan was not to have got a chance to run at the Meath full back, you would feel, now she's limping out there a bit the whole time, which is a bit of concern, but you would feel she'll relish the opportunity to level the teams.
Yeah, look, that's what you want is Jackie in there one-on-one with the full back, and straight away once she was out in front there, won her free, but as you said, took a little bit of a push in the back and doesn't look at all comfortable there now. So whether it's a recurrence of that injury that kept her out of last week's game, but certainly she's not moving very freely, so look, she'll get a chance to take this free, and I think Kerry will be anxious just to keep an eye on Jackie, and they'll want to keep her in this game as long as they can.
She's a vital person for Kerry in the campaign so far. There's no activity on the Kerry bench at the moment. Ian Brick out there keeping an eye on the action. He is the Kerry manager, joined by Pete Young, Owen Lawler and Erin Sheehan. So Jackie Horgan to take the free. Nearly 6 minutes gone here to try and level the sides. This will be her 24th point of the championship if it goes over the bar. Jackie Horgan takes her time, about 25 yards out from the post, puts the ball over the bar. We're all square here in Portlaoise. Kerry 1 point, Meath 1 point.
Yeah, look, and she jogs gingerly enough back into position there, but I think that will be Kerry's modus operandum, as they'll have her in on the edge of the D there, one-on-one with Claire Coffey, and try and get as much ball as they can in there. Jackie has a great hand. If the ball comes in high, she's as capable of taking it either way.
Meath on the attack down the right again. The shot goes across the goal to the left and wide and lane. The question I was going to ask you there, that'll all work nicely, but fine, they do not let Meath build up an advantage, because if Meath build up a 3 or 4 point lead, start dropping a defender back to cut out the supply as well, Kerry could be in serious trouble here. Yeah,
look, and they already do. I think is Sophia Payne is back there as a spare player, and she's covering the ground over and back in front, so if Kerry are delivering one-on-one ball in there, it needs to be accurate. It needs to favour Jackie Horgan to give her a fighting chance, especially because she looks like she's going on about one leg in there at the moment. So look, Kerry have been lucky so far. Meath have been racking up the wides, but that won't last forever.
A mix-up between Amy O'Sullivan and Rachel McCarthy has led to Eva Minogue gaining a few yards, trying to pick out Grace Coleman. Could she be the unlikely star today for Meath, because she's got the 1 point already? She's in the middle there, fighting for the ball, waiting for support to come. But Rachel McCarthy from Clonmorris dared to mop it up, but again Kerry have given the ball away. They're giving the ball away an awful lot in the early stages, not wanting to sound doom and gloom if you're watching our coverage from the Kingdom, but they've worked hard to get it up to Eva Behan, and Eva Behan gives a pass off in the direction of the defender. Is it Anya O'Connor? And Anya O'Connor lays the ball off, and was a throw, Paul? I don't think there's too many arguments in that one too. A bit of adrenaline rush there, free for Meath.
Yeah, no, the momentum of it and the power behind the ball certainly made it look like a throw anyway, and no doubt from the referee on that occasion. And as you said, Kerry just putting themselves under a little bit of pressure at the back, probably overpassing a little bit on that occasion, and I suppose they need to do that if they're going to work up a good delivery into Jackie Horgan inside. But the payoff then is that you risk playing it around inside your own half back line and giving chances to Eva Minogue. We saw what she could do from the middle of the field previous with distance. Will she have the accuracy on this one?
Eva Minogue goes to the post, puts the ball over the bar. Meath go back in front. 8 minutes gone, 2 points to 1.
Yeah, and look, as I said, that's the danger for Kerry if they're going to play it around their full back line, half back line like that. If they're going to turn over and give away easy frees, Eva Minogue is going to punish them all day. And I suppose, look, they're looking to try and get the perfect ball up to Jackie Horgan. She is one-on-one in there with Sophia Payne in front of her, covering that space, so any delivery that does go in needs to favour Jackie, but I suppose it just needs to come a little bit quicker.
Phil McDonald is going to be particular on the throw balls. He's punished Meath on that occasion. Kerry have a free. Patrice Diggin will more than likely come up to take this on the 65 metre line and might have a pop at the post ourselves. While Kerry have struggled in the early stages, if they can keep the scoreboard in check, they will grow into this contest. A big day, as we mentioned, and especially for Kerry trying to get into an All-Ireland Intermediate semi-final for the first time. So halfway out the field, Patrice Diggin, the Junior Player of the Year in 2019, won an All-Ireland on the day of her birthday in Croke Park against Limerick. Takes a breath, gets ready in position. Again, respect for the free taker as Portlaoise goes quiet. Patrice Diggin with the shot. It's going to carry. Looks good. It's gone over the bar. We're all square after 9 minutes. Patrice Diggin with her first of the afternoon. 2 points apiece.
Yeah, and just going to show is similar to Eva Minogue punishing you at the far side. Patrice Diggin can punish you obviously anywhere from around the middle of the field now, as well within her range. So that's something that Meath will have to be wary of and be disciplined in the tackle all over the field.
Meath have given the ball away from the puck out. It's going to be a sideline cut for Kerry, the far side of the field. Ellen O'Donoghue from the Causeway Club coming over to retrieve the sliotar, and she will restart the action, looking for teammates there to make themselves available for the ball. So Kerry Just trying to get themselves organised as well. A bit slow there now. The referee not happy with it. And he's going to throw it in for time wasting, is it?
Yeah, I think once the ref had blown the whistle, once the whistle is blown, you're not supposed to touch the ball again on the ground before you reset it, so the sideline needs to come. So Philip had blown the whistle on that occasion, and Kerry went to reset the ball again. So obviously for a little bit of time wasting and for that rule, happy to just get it played.
Both sides just making some unforced errors at the moment. Cuevas Bland sent the ball down the field, but it's won by Sophia Payne for Meath, and she sent it back towards the middle of the park. A player has lost a hurl, but Ellen Burke retrieves it. Kerry have possession, trying to find a way past the Meath 65 metre line, which is the main gap they have to get through at the moment. And Meath hold firm through their centre back, Maeve Clence. And Maeve Clence so stepped out over the line, so it's going to be a Kerry ball and a few kind of phases of play in the early stages of this match between Kerry and Meath in MW Hire O'Moore Park in Portlaoise. Kerry started off their championship beating Laois 215 to 113. Then they beat Carlow 14 points to 2-6 in a 1-point victory against Dublin. 11 points to 1-7 ensured their spot. They did lose to Westmeath 2-6 to 7 points, and then last week a disappointing defeat in Athenry 2-17 to 6 points, but they had already assured their place in the quarterfinals at the very least. The restart played the far side of the field. Long ball down in the direction of Anne-Marie Lean. It doesn't happen for her on that occasion, but Kerry will fight for the ball. But good defending there. It looks like Tracy King with the ball, lays the pass off to Aoife Maguire outside the 45-yard line, gets hooked by her opposing number 10 Amy O'Sullivan, but not enough to take the ball off her, and Aoife Maguire sent it down the second time of asking for Grace Coleman, the only score from play in the match so far. She's looking for Jane Dolan. Jane Dolan's at full forward. She has the ball. Kerry need to be careful. Goes to ground. The referee has their hand out. It's going to be a free in for Meath, and Jane Dolan will get a chance to go for the post, look for her first score of the afternoon and put Meath back in front.
Yeah, and luckily for Kerry, just on the edge of the penalty area there, was just outside it where she was fouled, but two fantastic pieces of play there by Meath to take initially from Grace Coleman outside, and then that little touch by Jane Dolan just to bring the ball down into her own path again and deflect it around the Kerry player, wins herself the free and her chance now to get her score up and running.
And Jane Dolan puts the ball over the bar, her 29th white flag of this year's championship, and it's Meath 3 points, Kerry 2 as we come up towards the 12-minute mark here in Portlaoise in this Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie quarter-final, brought to you in association with Entry. Kerry go for the short puck out again. Emma Lawler to Sarah Murphy. Sarah Murphy gets a bit more drive on it and picks out Kate Lynch. Kate Lynch, a great addition back into this Kerry team as well, and she's inside the 65-yard line, gives the pass off, a shot at the post for Kerry to try and get their first from play. Not to be on that occasion. The ball goes out to the left and wide. First wide of the game for Kerry, 4 from 8.
Yeah, but good build-up play. You can see what Kerry are trying to do. You know, the short puck out from Emma Lawler and the goal out to Sarah Murphy, who's a superb striker of the ball, and it just clears that midfield area and sets Kerry right on the attack.
Aoife Behan was the player that took the shot for Kerry. This is Aoife Minogue on the left there for Meath, and again players coming out to Meath, just can't get the touch the first time I'm asking. Sinead Hackett wearing number 15 for Meath, number 15 for Kerry is Edel Slattery. The Kingdom cleared the ball out towards the 65, but Meath getting hurls up there. The referee saw something he didn't like, and he's blown the whistle, and he's going down in the direction of Aoife Behan now. I don't know, did he spot a cut or something on Aoife Behan or an earring, but either way he blew the whistle very, very quickly.
Yeah, went straight for Aoife Behan, and has he gone to her maybe with the book, maybe to book her? I'm not sure. Aoife Behan looks to be the one that's injured, but she certainly looks to be having her name taken by Philip MacDonald there.
So it looks like it's going to be a yellow card for Aoife Behan. We're not exactly sure why. Maybe she was in the middle of the challenge there, and that's who the referee had judged to be the guilty party. But the first player in the book in this game, it remains Kerry 2 points, Meath 3 points. We've played 13 and a half minutes. Meath have their free. It's going to be taken by Aoife Minogue, and she will try and make a double score. So she's going to go for the short one, and it might work out for Meath here. They missed Amy Gaffney wearing number 11, but did work its way down towards Olivia O'Halloran. She's the number 13 jersey on her, but Aoife Behan with possession for Kerry finds a teammate, and 2 passes later it's with Rachel McCarthy, and a bit of a surprise there that Meath did not go for a shot at the post. Anne-Marie Lean gives the ball up, but Kerry just can't control the sliotar, and Meath are going to win it back in the middle of the park and out towards the left, and just again the ball drop and everyone trying to settle down. Aoife Maguire with it. The referee says another throw. It's going to be a free here for Kerry, and Jackie Horgan is coming out to take this. But Elaine, I have to ask you the question, why did Aoife Minogue not go for the point from the the free the first time?
I have no idea. It was well within her range. We've seen her put them over from further out, and it looked to be kind of a preset move, maybe a training ground move, because there was a lot of movement in that full forward line before that low ball went in, but it certainly was within Aoife Minogue's range. And at this early stage, 3 points to 2, you just want to get the scoreboard ticking over, get another score and reset for the puck out again. So certainly a missed opportunity for Meath on that occasion.
Yeah, because 14 and a half minutes gone. Meath have been clearly the better team, what we've seen it play, but if this goes over the bar, the sides are going to be level. Jackie Horgan knows how important this free is. Can she put it over for Kerry? It looks very, very close. It looks very, very good. Jackie Horgan puts the ball over the bar. 3 frees for Kerry in the match there, level at 3 points apiece.
Yeah, and that's your 2 point swing. Aoife Minogue, as we said, well capable of putting that one over the bar, opted not to Meath get punished for a thrown ball, and Jackie Horgan penalises at the other end. So 2 point swing there. And as you said, look, Meath have been fully in control, but they've had 4 or 5 wides already. They need to take their scoring chances, and that was a scoring chance for Aoife Minogue, so I'm not sure why she didn't take it.
Kerry will be relishing this at the moment because their team will settle into the contest. They will get themselves going, and we know they are definitely going to have their purple patches in the game, so they'll be happy enough to be all square after the first quarter as Patrice Diggin takes the sideline cut, sending it down in the direction of Amber Lean, but it's cut out by Aoife Maguire, and Aoife Maguire, too many steps. The game getting very technical here at the moment. Kerry have another free outside the 45 metre line. The Meath player looks like she's picked up an injury at the moment, and Kerry could be in front with this next free.
Yeah, I think Aoife Minogue maybe just got a belt on the back of the elbow there just as she released that last ball, and maybe actually I think the linesman on the far side might be calling Philip McDonough's attention to it, but again, yeah, technicality there I suppose for Aoife Minogue, just overcarrying on that occasion, and on top of the couple of thrown balls we've seen already, just a couple of errors I suppose as both teams settle into it and know how much is at stake.
Jackie Horgan, and there's no change in the free anyway, so Jackie Horgan is going to take this about 50 yards out. She nailed one from distance just a couple of moments ago. This to put Kerry in front. 16 minutes and 15 seconds gone in this All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie quarter-final, and again it goes quiet for Jackie Horgan. Great to have her back in the Kerry jersey. She was missed in Athenry last week. Takes the free. It looks like that's not going to be in target. It was always a difficult shot anyway. Goes across the goal to the right and wide. Second wide of the game for Kerry.
Yeah, didn't trouble the goalkeeper at all on that occasion. Jackie just never really got the accuracy on it and had the distance, but maybe just not as comfortable from that left hand side as she is from here on the right.
Good drive down the field by Maggie Randall, picked up by Aoife Minogue. She bends down to allow Ellen Burke send the ball in towards the attack. Another training ground move, but this is one perfectly executed because Jane Dolan's on the move. Jane Dolan goes for a shot at the post, and Jane Dolan puts the ball wide. The umpire taking his time to make up his mind, and that 5 wides in the game for Meath after 17 minutes.
Yeah, and again the finish just didn't match the build up. Long ball in, superbly taken in the air, lovely crossfield ball across in then for Jane Dolan to get onto the end of it, and as I said, the finish then just not quite matching it, and the wides just starting to tack on for Meath.
You just get the feeling this is going to be a game to grind through. Olivia Halloran sends the ball in for Jane Dolan. Didn't get it the first time of asking. Grace Coleman was there hoping that it'd come for her. The foul committed, and the referee says that the Meath captain was dragged down, so it's going to be a free in for Meath, and they'll get their chance to go back in front. The player on the ground is Sarah Murphy.
Yeah, and I think I questioned that one. I'm not sure Jane Dolan made much of an effort to get around Sarah Murphy there, and from my eyes from here anyway, I think Sarah Murphy just stood her ground, and the forward often gets the benefit of those decisions, I think.
And she got the benefit of it in this occasion. So Jane Dolan getting ready to take the free. That will be her 30th point of the championship if it goes over the bar. But a bit of concern for Sarah Murphy, the Kerry full-back at the moment, and she's receiving some treatment as the clock hits towards the 80-minute mark. But Sarah Murphy is getting herself back in position as the headband on, getting the helmet on, has been given back to her, and she'll be fit to continue. And a vital player too. Indeed, the Kerry defenders, Elaine, are vital players. The experience comes from their back 7, all involved in 2019.
Yeah, hugely experienced, and Sarah Murphy experienced obviously out in the half back line with Clanmaris as well, so as I said, plenty of experience at all those levels.
Jane Dolan puts the free over the bar, her 30th point of the championship, puts Meath back in front. Meath 4 points, Kerry 3, and Emma Lawler will want to nail this puck out for Kerry now as she gets ready to restart the play again, going for the short one. Lots of short ones there. Late challenge of Patrice Diggin. The hand was up straight away. The referee hasn't seen it yet. I don't think there was anything malicious there from Jane Dolan going for Patrice Diggin, but she did catch her high, so it'll be interesting to see what way that the lines person or the umpires judge that one.
Yeah, and look, and I thought, credit to the Meath full forward line, I thought they'd cut out the option of the sharp puck out, but when you have a player of the quality Patrice Diggin, and look, I think just Jane Dolan maybe just catching her on the ear, maybe, or on the back of the neck with an attempted hook there. As I said, I don't think there was any malice in it. I think it was just a little bit late with the hook, and the hurl might have slipped up in under the ear, but either way it should be a free from Kerry, for Kerry, I would imagine, from where the ball landed, and we're probably within Jackie Horgan territory there.
Yeah, and she did put the hand up straight away now to acknowledge that she mistimed the challenge. Now the linesman Mike Flannery has had a word with Philip McDonald, the referee. He's going in to have a chat with his umpires at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see if any further action is taken outside of the free. And of course the free will be out in the middle of the field, you would feel, after, because it was done after the challenge. We'll see what Philip McDonald does here. Patrice Diggin though is okay, she's back on her feet and fit to continue, and it looks like we're just going to continue play down towards the 65 metre line. Now the question is, are we starting with a Meath indirect free or with a Kerry free inside? That decision doesn't look like it's been made yet. So now we're just going to restart with a throw-in ball. So the referee restarting his clock. We come up towards the 20-minute mark here in Portlaoise. A game that hasn't really caught fire yet, it has to be said, but it's very, very intriguing nonetheless. The ball is thrown in, the game is back on, and Anne-Marie Lean goes to ground, wins the free for Kerry, and there'll be an opportunity for her now to try and get them, create a scoring opportunity. Patrice Diggin is coming up to take this, and Ellen O'Donoghue throws the ball in front of her. So from 65 metres out, no different to Aoife Minogue for me, to Patrice Diggin, a player well capable of nailing this over the bar. Yeah,
and we've seen her nail one from the far side, from probably a little bit further out earlier in the half, so certainly within her range, and a little bit out to the sideline, but a player of Patrice's calibre will certainly fancy her chances from here.
So Patrice Diggin in the white helmet on your screen, getting ready to take the free from 65 yards. Can she level it? Looks like it's going to tail to the right. That ball goes to the right and wide, and after Meath getting the early wides, Kerry starting to build up a few now. Yeah,
and you could tell maybe even from the lift and the sound of the strike here underneath us, probably put a little bit too much on it to try and get the distance, and just lost the accuracy on that occasion. And look, they're always disappointing wides when you have players of the calibre of Jackie Horgan in on the edge of the square. When you have a disappointing wide like that, you feel at least if you could get it in and keep it in play, that you give yourself a chance.
Lee Defiance into the long ball down for Meath, but it doesn't work out. A player in white does get a touch on the ball, and this could be the opportunity that Meath are waiting for, and this is a great opportunity for a shot at the post. The shot came from Amy Gaffney. She puts the ball over the bar. 22 minutes in, Meath go 2 in front, 5-3.
Yeah, super scoring again, turned it around straight from their own pocket, won their own pocket, worked the ball in, and Meath are just playing with that little bit of pace up front, and when players like Amy Gaffney get into that little bit of space, well able to take the score then as well.
Meath started off this championship with a disappointing defeat to Derry, 2-14 to 11 points on the 28th of May. They then lost to Wexford 3-8 to 112 before Cork were 4-point winners in round 3, 112 to 11. With 3 defeats, it didn't look like Meath would be focusing on anything but surviving in intermediate, but what a way they turned it around with 2 big results: 2-18 to 2-8 against Kildare, 3-13 to 11 points against Kilkenny, getting through on their superior scoring difference. And here they are now in the All-Ireland quarter-final as Sinead Hackett gives the ball to Ellen Burke. Ellen Burke sent a teasing ball inside in the direction of Olivia O'Halloran. That doesn't happen. 6 wide for Meath. Yeah, and just racking up the wides, as you said, doing a lot of good work out around the middle of the field, and Sophia Payne doing really, really well in that spare player role there. Took the pass back from Meath Clinch, lovely little step forward and good patient build up from Meath, but when the shots are coming, they're just not getting them on target at the moment. Emma Lawler sends the ball out the field again. It's won by Leah Define from the Nafina club. She's inside the 65 metre line, sends the low ball down towards Amy Gaffney. Amy Gaffney is going to lose out to Anya O'Connor. Anya O'Connor with the ball for Kerry, trying to find a way out. Does manage to pick out Aoife Behan, and Aoife Behan inside her own 45 metre line. The pass for Patrice Diggin. Patrice Diggin now pushing forward there, charges into the player, and when you do that, it's only going one way. Yeah, I don't need to comment on that one again. We all know it at this stage, and no argument even from Patrice Diggin there. Know that made no effort to get around the Meath player, and that's a free and a chance again now for Aoife Minogue if she decides to go from the post for this one. If there's one rule that our regular followers here on the streaming service this year will have learned, is about the charge forward with when you have possession. It's not going to yield the desired result. No, I'm going to wake up some night repeating it in my sleep, I think. But yeah, the player in possession needs to avoid the player that's coming in to make the tackle, and on that occasion Patrice Diggin didn't get around the Meath player, so the free against her and the chance free from Minogue. And Aoife Minogue goes for a shot at the post. Is it good? It's going to be close, and it's gone wide. The umpires just seems to nod first before waving out the wide, but either way, it's 7 wides for Meath in this game. 5 scores, so a less than a 50% return from the chances that they've had. Kerry only on 50% with their chances as well, though they've come close to creating a goal scoring opportunity at one stage. Leah Define starting to get involved in the play, but Kerry win the ball back, and on the move again the far side of the field is a Cueva Spillane. She's moving inside. It is Cueva Spillane, 40 yards from the goal side to send it inside in the direction there of an attacking teammate. It might be Amy O'Sullivan, but she didn't get the touch in that. She didn't get the, whatever way the touch happened, it didn't happen the way she wanted, because the umpire waved the ball wide, and another wide in this game. And Maggie Randall not wasting any time, pucking the ball out in the direction of Aoife Minogue. She wears number 12 up against Aoife Behan, and Aoife Behan just struggling to get control of the ball, and Aoife Minogue making it harder for her, leaves it off there for Ellen Burke. She wears number 8 down in the direction of Grace Coleman, just about controlled the ball to keep it in play, gets past Patrice Stigan, moves down the right hand side of the field. Great hook there from Patrice Stigan. Grace Coleman sends it inside towards Sinead Hackett. Sinead Hackett wears 15, back to Grace Coleman, and coming in is Ellen Burke. She has the ball, a pass across in the direction of Amy Gaffney. She's got a nice point already, goes for another, and it's gone to the right and wide. 25 minutes gone, Elaine. The shooting in this match has been very, very poor.
Yeah, and especially from a Meath point of view, the build up again, they're so good. Grace Coleman initially hooked, that super hook from Patrice Digan, but got up on her feet again, got the super ball across, and Meath were lining up along the 45 to have that shot. Amy Gaffney eventually got it away, but I think that, to her credit, I think there might have been a small little bit of a hook that forced that one out right and wide. But yeah, from Brendan Skeen's point of view and from a Meath point of view, for the possession they've had, for how dominant they've looked out there, they're still only 2 points up, and they've shot themselves into nearly double figures on the wides.
Kerry won't be too despondent with this position, because as we mentioned, the breeze, minimal enough, will be with Meath in the second half, but not a major factor in this game. A sideline cut for Kerry, the far side of the field. It's going to be taken by Patrice Digan as she retrieves the slitter, and she's going to be a free for Patrice Digan, so it's a free out for Kerry between their own 45 and 65 metre line. Can she inspire Kerry to get themselves back in this game? Drives the free down in towards the attack, looking for Amy O'Sullivan or Jackie Horgan perhaps, but it misses everybody, and Claire Coffey left it off for Maggie Randall, but she could trust the goalkeeper from Dunamore Ashbourne to deal with that ball, and it's out at the Meath 65 metre line again, and they'll work together to move the ball down the left flank. And good clearance there by Maeve Clence in towards Jane Dolan, who comes out to meet the ball, and Jane Dolan turns on her left hand side trying to get away from Sarah Murphy, goes to ground there. The hand is out for the advantage, so it's going to be a free in for Meath, and Jane Dolan will get a chance to make it double scores.
Yeah, and again, look, I thought it was super defending from Sarah Murphy there. She showed really quick feed and good awareness to make sure that Jane Dolan didn't slip inside her there, and unfortunately for her, Jane Dolan went to ground, and I suppose that again the forward maybe getting a little bit of the benefit of that free there.
So Jane Dolan will have the free right in front of you there. She gets a drink of water in the process, and quick check that she's okay. So the free about 30-35 yards from the goal on the left in front of the main stand here in MW Hire O'Moore Park in Portlaoise. Jane Dolan getting ready now for Meath to put 3 points between them, takes the free. It's going to come in nicely for her. It goes over the bar. 27 minutes gone. 3 between them. Meath 6, Kerry 3.
Yeah, look, and it's probably the least that Meath deserve for the possession, as I said, and the dominance that they've had out the field. And it'll be interesting to see now. Look, Meath have really pushed up on the Kerry puck outs, not giving them a short one and pressing them straight away.
Of course, when you go with the short puck out, you have to nail the touch first time, and it didn't happen for Michelle Costello there from Emma Lawler, and Meath having the ball again through Aoife Minogue. Aoife Minogue sends play inside the 45 metre line, trying to find Grace Coleman. Back to help out is Edel Slattery. Edel Slattery from Tom Morris moves away from the goal area, but it was on her own against two Meath players. It's won back by Sinead Hackett. 115 takes it from the other. She goes for the shot. The umpire has a look at Sinead Hackett, puts the ball over the bar. A perfect rob from Meath. 4 in a row for them. It's 7 points to 3.
Yeah, look, and that's Meath starting to do what Meath do best here. I suppose they've turned over those couple of Kerry puck outs, be they short or long. Meath have turned them over, and now they're starting to make them count on the scoreboard. And that was a super score from Sinead Hackett on top of the free from Jane Dolan just beforehand.
Find the Meath half back line are really winning their battles as well at times. Kerry have got past them a few times when they have run at them, but Maeve Clint's won the ball there. Sarah Murphy going to return it down the field for Kerry, but only as far as the 65 metre line. And again, the foul committed on Meath. The foul was won by Tracy King, so it's going to be a free for Meath. Aoife Minogue, you would feel, will take this on the 65 metre line and might have a pop at the post. Indeed, no, she's not, or
I think it's actually been moved up for a little bit of dissent from a Kerry player after the free was given, so we're probably gone into Jane Dolan territory here.
Jane Dolan is coming up to take it. Indeed, I was watching there first. I was just going to say to myself, it's hardly a defender's free in the Kerry half of the field, but it's going to be Jane Dolan outside the 45 metre line, and she'll try and put 5 points between them. So Jane Dolan taking her time for waiting for the referee to give the signal to take the free. Jane Dolan with the free for Meath. That's going over the bar. It's another score for Meath. Well, they're finally starting to get it right in the closing stages of the half. 8 points to 3.
Yeah, like you said, just starting to get it right now coming into half time, but it's taken them all of the 29 minutes or 25 minutes I suppose to get on top of Kerry and to find a way through at the back and to get their scoring boots on. But look, it's an All-Ireland quarter final. There's bound to be some nerves and some little handling errors, but Meath certainly starting to find their groove now.
Amy Gaffney sends the ball down towards the goal. She took the pass from Leah Devine. Doesn't happen for her. That's not the wide number 9 for Meath. Emma Lawler to restart the action. And she sent it out towards the right in the direction. Well, it's going to come to Aoife Minogue anyway. So Aoife Minogue going to send it straight back down the field for Jane Dolan. Jane Dolan trying to get a touch in this. Loses out to Sarah Murphy there. Good defending from the Kerry number 3. The ball hasn't gone dead. The referee says the defender has been fouled. So it's going to be a free out for Kerry.
Yeah, option 1 I think was for Sarah Murphy, was to try and let that one run wide, but not the easiest of tasks when you have Jane Dolan breathing down your neck. So I think played it really, really well there. Went to ground, saw the little push in the back, saw the opportunity and won a free out for herself. 1
minute to go to half time here in Portlaoise in this Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie Championship quarter final. We hope you're enjoying the coverage, but the throw ball there committed by Kerry is judged by the referee. They are arguing the decision, and Kerry have to be careful. They have to remember that the free was brought forward for arguing decisions before, so it's another opportunity for Jane Dolan just outside the 45 metre line. And while it was looking worrying there when Kerry had a 3 points apiece, this is a Meath perspective, I do say. This could put 6 points between them, and Jane Dolan will relish the opportunity to try and make it triple scores in this game, as Kerry have given the ball away regularly enough in the last few moments. So Jane Dolan getting ready to take the free. This might be the last action of the first half. 1 minute was indicated of added time. Jane Dolan goes for the shot. The umpires look at it, they like it, it's gone over the bar. It's 9 points to 3.
Yeah, and look, from a Kerry point of view, I suppose we went from a position of 25 minutes there. Kerry were 2 points down to 5 points to 3, and it looked to have been a promising half for them. You know, they really found themselves still in that game, but you know, the last 5 minutes there have been all Meath, and as I said, they look to just have found their groove and started to make a count on the scoreboard. You know, they'd been hurling most of the hurling for that first half. They looked to have the pace in their game, but for all the good build-up play, they just hadn't been making a count on the scoreboard. They'd shot, I think it's 9 wides, so they'll be disappointed with that at half time. But the upside is that if you have 9 wides and 9 scores, you've had 18 scoring opportunities in 30 minutes of camogie, so that's not a bad return for Brendan Skehan's side.
Yeah, 5 minutes ago, of course, the half-time whistle has gone there. Meath 6 in front. 5 minutes ago, the assessment of Meath would have been very, very critical with the chances that they have wasted. But of course, those scores have really dressed it up. I think 4 since the 27 minutes, but 6 between them. But Kerry have been just guilty of like 1 or 2 decisions there. You can make an argument they were unlucky to go against them, but they've given the ball away an awful lot as well.
Yeah, and that'll be the killer blow, I think, for Kerry, is that they were in this game and it was, you know, they had it in their own hands, and I suppose the couple of frees that Jane Dolan got there and the couple of, you know, they were the opportunities really that allowed Meath to just stretch their lead at half time. So, you know, from, as you said, a position where Kerry were still in this game and had their fate in their own hands, but they seemed a couple of, like you said, a couple of silly frees, maybe a couple of dispossessions, a couple of throw balls, a little bit of descent, then got the ball moved forward, and that just gave Meath the chance to just stretch the lead coming into half time. So instead of going in 2 or 3 down at half time, Kerry now found themselves 6 down.
It's a first half that hasn't shined like the sun just yet, but no doubt the next 30 minutes could really pick up the pace. And sure, a Kerry goal, it could all change. But at the moment, it's all going good for Meath. They lead by 6 points here, and that's the half-time score. We'll be back in about 10 minutes' time with live coverage of this Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie Championship quarter-final. But at half-time, Meath in front by 6. It's Meath 9 points, Kerry 3. Thank you very much and welcome back here to MW Hire O'Moore Park in Portlaoise as we get ready for the second half of the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie Championship quarter-final. On the field of play at the moment is Meath. No sign of Kerry yet. Meath finishing the first half with a flourish. Disappointing their shooting has been overall, Elaine, but they got the scores to give themselves a 6-point advantage. Kerry coming on the field.
Yeah, look, it's probably 6 points is probably a fair reflection of how dominant Meath were in that first half, possibly even more, but as we said, some of their brilliant build-up play just didn't quite ignite on the scoreboard and they just couldn't quite finish. It started, as I said, to find their range maybe a little bit there before half time and stretched what looked like was going to be a 2-point lead at half time out to 6, and look, a big start needed from Kerry now in this second half.
Yeah, Kerry haven't scored since the 15th minute of the game. That was Jackie Horgan's second free. They're going to need some scores quickly. Might even need a goal, but still plenty of time because it is a 6-point ball game. We know from experience of watching camogie that can change very, very quickly. Having a look around to see is there any changes in either team. I haven't spotted any so far. So Philip McDonald, the referee from Cavan, getting ready to throw the ball in. Meath attacking the goal to the right for the second half. The ball is thrown in. The game is back on. Meath against Kerry, who is going to be the fourth and final team in the semi-finals of this year's All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie Championship, sponsored by Glen Dimplex. Cueva Spillane went in a run early in the game. She goes in a run there, tries to send the ball towards Jackie Horgan. Not to be in that occasion. Claire Coffey sends the ball away, but has picked up a knock in the process with the challenge coming in late. So Meath have a player down. Kerry coming in again through Patrice Stiggin. Patrice Stiggin tries to feed the ball out in the direction of Rachel McCarthy. Cueva Spillane was there as well. The referee spots a foul free for Kerry, but there's a serious injury down here on the Meath full back. The referee hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, no, as soon as Claire Coffey caught that ball and it was real no-nonsense full-back defending came out. We know how strong Jackie Horgan can be in the air, but Claire came out over her, took it really, really well, delivered the ball, and I'm not sure if she took a knock then, but certainly holding her left arm, I think, as she went down there and went down straight away. So concern now for Meath and for Claire Coffey at full-back.
Yes, and Claire Coffey has been doing well to keep the shackles on Jackie Horgan in this game. Yes, Sophia Payne has come back to mop up the space in front as well, but Claire Coffey has arguably been on top of that battle, bar maybe the first spell there in the match when Jackie Horgan did win the free. Now, Kerry are getting a substitute warmed up. Julianne O'Keefe, wearing number 14. She didn't start the game. She will be entering the field of play shortly, but that's on the Kerry side of things. This is on Meath, and Claire Coffey from the Fina just there now, whatever way the hand caught there with the challenge coming in. She certainly felt the pain of it, but she's standing up and looks like she will be okay, and it's a player that Meath will not want to lose, Elaine.
No, and possibly just maybe on the funny bone, the way that they're moving the elbow there, and if it was on the funny bone or up on the elbow, it could be sore immediately, but if she gets a chance to work it back in and warm it up again, she'll probably be okay to continue. But as you said, a player, certainly when she's in there, on a player the calibre of Jackie Horgan, she's not someone you want to lose so early in the second half.
Well, Claire Coffey is going to continue the action in a way, so we're going to start with, I think it's a throw-in ball the far side of the field between the Meath 45 and 65 metre line. Claire Coffey is good, the ball is thrown back in, and we go again with Cueva Spillane. Cueva Spillane on the move there, and she's a player now that can really trouble Meath if she can get more ball into her. She's on the 20 metre line, has support, going to send the ball dropping in herself, trying to find Jackie Horgan, but who else but Claire Coffey to pick the ball up and send the ball away after an injury like that. It's not funny anymore for her.
No, her arm is okay, she's fine to continue.
Amy Gaffney moving down the right. The Meath fans hearing the voices, getting out there. She sends a dangerous teasing ball inside. Kerry have to be very, very careful, and they were very, very careful to knock the ball away. Ball comes out in the direction of Patrice Stiggin. She plays it along the ground. A bit of a touch there from Meath, but it goes out over the line, so it's going to be a Meath ball. Good interception from Elaine Ryle on that occasion to stop the threat for Kerry. Meath restart the action. Well, they were about to restart the action from Ellen Burke, but the referee wasn't happy about something, so we're going to restart the action again. Not too sure, but we're going to change in sideline takers here now, and it's going to be Grace Coleman to take this.
Yeah, I think the Kerry player was just initially too close to the sideline in front, although Meath did play it back.
Aoife Minogue has the ball here from Meath. Thought about pulling the trigger, got herself caught in 6s and 7s. Sarah Murphy held her ground in one way, but probably did take down the Meath player in the other. It's a free in.
Look, and I think even Minogue was probably maybe a little bit blindsided there as well. We just watch it again. A super sideline initially from Grace Coleman, ran the whole way in. Aoife Minogue did well to get on it, and yeah, look, I think Aoife Minogue just went to maybe go around Sarah Murphy, and Sarah Murphy went to meet her at the same time, and probably just a clash of bodies more so than anything. Yeah,
I stand corrected that time. I think she just did catch her free in for Meath. No arguments there, and Jane Dolan will get a chance to bring them to double scores. The substitution is taking place, and Jackie Horgan is coming off the field of play, so it hasn't worked out for Kerry, the experiment of playing Jackie Horgan on the field of play. Julianne O'Keefe is on.
Yeah, look, and we saw Jackie going off at half time there and getting a lot of attention on the sideline from the physio before she even made it off the field into the dressing room. And look, she looked in a lot of distress, to be fair, for a lot of that first half. And obviously, look, it's a knockout championship game, and Jackie Horgan is your top scorer coming into it. You want to have her on the field if you can at all. And obviously, Jackie, you know the type of player she is, wanted to be on that field herself as much as anything. But as you said, just didn't work out for her today. But brighter days certainly for her in the Kerry and Clanmaris jersey.
Courageous effort. She got 2 points, bringing her total to the championship up to 125. Will she get a chance to be in Nolan Park in 2 weeks? Kerry have to do a lot of work to make that happen, but Jane Dolan has it free on the 20-metre line as we're waiting. Jackie Horgan is off the field to play, and is there a yellow card for one of the Kerry defenders? Indeed, it has been a yellow card. We'll confirm the identity of who it was in just a moment, but the free in for Meath. So Jane Dolan going to take this, going to tap it over the bar. 5 minutes into the second half, Meath gets a 10 points. Jane Dolan is turning the screw slowly but coolly, and 7 between them.
Yeah, and I think the yellow card there was for Sarah Murphy for that tackle. She was the one on the line with the black helmet. But yeah, as you said, look, Jane Dolan just doing what she does best, being composed, taking the chances when they come, and look, that's all Meath need to do. Every score they get now, Kerry are going to have to try and get 2 back. So look, it doesn't matter to them how slow the game is or how they run it in from here. They're happy to just be ahead, and as I said, keep that scoreboard ticking over.
Well, there's a Kerry player getting booked here now, and it might be, I don't know, it would be a case of mistaken identity, because I thought Anne-Marie Lean was the player to put a high challenge in on Sophia Payne, but it's number 11, Cuevas Belanda, has been chatted to. I don't know if we can get a look at that again, just in case I'm wrong with that, but Meath have a free in outside the 65-metre line, and Cuevas Belanda is going in the book, so a third yellow card in the game for Kerry.
Yeah, and she is getting it for that high tackle. I didn't see it myself which player it was from Kerry for a definite point of view, but it's Cuevas Belanda picks up the yellow card, and a chance now again for Meath to go on the attack.
Maeve Clint sends the ball down in the direction of Grace Coleman. Grace Coleman knocks it forward. This is number 17 there is Aideen Slattery. So Aideen Slattery has come on the field at half time for Meath. Grace Coleman out on the right hand side goes for a shot at the post, but that's a wonderful score from Grace Coleman, and that's a score that definitely gives us a lift. From an acute angle there, Grace Coleman puts the ball over the bar. 11 points to 3.
Yeah, not just the score but the perfect rob. You know, Kerry looked to have it under control. Aoife Bean went down on a super flick in, perfectly timed from Grace Coleman. Lovely rob, and then a super point to finish it, and that's exactly what we were accusing Meath of not doing in the first half, is finishing those lovely chances, and Grace Coleman certainly showing there how it should be done.
Meath on the attack again. They feel now that this All-Ireland quarter-final is there to be won. Sinead Hackett sends it across for Grace Coleman. Can she take this first time? She does take it first time. Tries to work her way inside. Gives a pass out in the direction. Well, it'll come to Jane Dolan. I don't know if she was the original target, but Jane Dolan has the ball back in the direction of Aideen Slattery. And Aideen Slattery gets stopped by Aoife Behan. And Aoife Behan will bring the ball out the field again. Out towards the middle of the park. But again, it looks like a Meath player every time is first to the ball. Sophia Payne, though, didn't deal with that. As this Kerry's opportunity to make it happen. Touched on the ground by the Meath player, free for Kerry on the 65-metre line, and Amy O'Sullivan standing where the free is and waiting for a player to come up. I think there's a bit of confusion exactly who's going to take the free, but you'd imagine, well, Amy O'Sullivan has taken frees in this championship as well. Indeed, she scored 4 of her 11 points from frees, but Patrice Stiggin is going to take it. They go for the short one back to Amy O'Sullivan. Amy O'Sullivan to Patrice Stiggin on the 45-metre line, and the hook there from Maeve Clint gets in the way. Sophia Payne provides the block, the smallest player of the lot in there, and she's the one who put her body in the line. The danger is not averted because Ellen O'Donoghue is on the 20-metre line. The hand is out for the advantage. The advantage is not accruing. Kerry are going to get their free. They worked hard to get that one.
Yeah, and you could see Patrice Diggum as she came at speed up the field. You knew she was going to go short to Amy O'Sullivan. The 1-2 just didn't quite work out. Sophia Payne got back, got her body on the line, but Meath just failed to deal with it. And I suppose when it stayed around there, then the chance for the forwards to be fouled and for the free, and for a chance maybe for Amy O'Sullivan now to take that closer in free.
Yellow card for Leah Devine for the challenge there on the 20-metre line. So Amy O'Sullivan, I'm guessing they're hardly going to bring Patrice Diggin up this far up the field to take a free. So it is Amy O'Sullivan wearing number 10 on her back that's going to take this free. She hasn't scored in the game so far, so she's looking for her 12th point of the championship. And her 5th from a place ball. Takes the free, puts the ball over the bar. Kerry have ended a long drought, 9 minutes into the second half. It's 6-point ball game again, 7-point ball game, 11 points to 4.
Yeah, and a huge puck out now for Kerry. You know, they need to get their hand on the ball again here if they're to try and stay in contention here and not let Meath extend that lead.
Amy Gaffney trying to control the ball, but Kerry now starting to work a bit harder. Maybe they realise now that they've been slacking for a while. Ellen Burke sends the ball across again. Black jerseys getting touches there. Good work by Edel Slattery. And now Kerry are moving the ball outside the 45-metre line through Cueva Spillane in the blue boots, and she'll send it down the other end of the field. Players jump up for the ball, but nobody retrieves the sliotar. One on the occasion by Anne-Marie Lean. Anne-Marie Lean gives the pass off towards Julianne O'Keefe, but Julianne O'Keefe's attempted ball to Kate Lynch didn't happen. Aoife Maguire mops the ball up and sends it forward in the direction of Tracy King. Tracy King goes to ground, has picked up a knock. Play continues on, and it's fighting for possession. There is Sophia Payne. Sophia Payne, Meath playing with 14 players. Aoife Maguire puts the ball out of play like the old school soccer thing. Put the ball out of play so the player can receive some treatment.
Yeah, and it's Claire Coffey is down again over there. And I'm not sure if she stood on a sliotar and rolled her ankle. She looked to be ahead of that ball going to it and just pulled up a little bit slowly. So I'm not sure if I think she might have actually stood on the sliotar and rolled her ankle. She went down straight away, and I think it was straight to her ankle. If I'm right, it is Claire Coffey that's out there.
Claire Coffey is distressed at the moment. There is a Meath substitution taking place, and Anya Kyo is coming on the field to play. Well, she's been called back again, so I don't think they have the sufficient paperwork that they want yet for that substitution. And Conor Quinlan, the linesman, the near side of the field, he refereed last year's All-Ireland Intermediate final between Antrim and Kilkenny in Croke Park. Did the official from Galway, but Claire Coffey's afternoon is over, and she's going off the field to play. A massive blow for them. So Anya Kyo must have been coming on for someone else. They had to change the paperwork. Claire Coffey is gone, and presumably Anya Kyo is coming in there, and Meath will have to juggle a few positions there.
Yeah, this is not obviously the intended substitution, and I'm not sure if it's actually a hamstring injury or the ankle that Claire Coffey went over on, but either way, as I said, her hand went up straight away. Her afternoon is certainly done, and a chance now for Anya Kyo to come in, and be interesting to see what way Meath will reshuffle the deck at the back now.
Well, after an intriguing battle we had between Jackie Horgan and Claire Coffey, especially in the first half, both of those players are gone now. Meath in front by 7 points, just past the 10-minute mark in the second half, as Aoife Minogue sends a long ball down, looking for Amy Gaffney, we're number 11, and Amy Gaffney has the ball there, trying to get away from Anya O'Connor, the number 5 of Kerry. Good ball across in the direction of Aideen Slattery, doesn't hit the target, but Meath still in possession. Sinead Hackett turns on her left hand side, goes for a shot at the post, and Sinead Hackett puts the ball over the bar. Good response from Meath. Sinead Hackett with a point, 12 points to 4.
Yeah, and that's what Meath are really good at now in this second half, is working the ball. You know, they work it up the line and then they spray it across the 21 or across the 30 yards line, and there's players queuing up for it there, and I suppose Kerry just guilty of a little bit of ball watching on that occasion and allowed the opportunity to Meath.
Meath have turned the ball around again. Aoife Maguire sending it in towards the direction of Jane Dolan. Just gets away from Jane Dolan. The ball will stay in play. Elaine Ryle first to Meath. It's surrounded by 2 Meath players. Can she get it away? The referee says she was fouled. So it's going to be a free out for Kerry, and he's running in now to have a look at what's going on there. I don't know if he spotted something that he didn't like and is going to have a chat with one of the Meath players. Indeed he is. So it looks like we're going to have another yellow card.
Yeah, I think it's Grace Coleman in there to follow that ball in with Jane Dolan. Didn't quite go over the end line, and I think it was Elaine Ryle in there trying to get it over, but Philip MacDonald, the judge, and that the hurl and the tackle was high from Grace Coleman, and she picks up a yellow card for that one.
So Grace Coleman is the second Meath player in the book. 3 yellow cards for Kerry and a free out for the Munster side, and it's going to be taken by Sarah Murphy. Sarah Murphy, long drive down past the opposing 65-metre line, hoping to find Kate Lynch, but it's a Meath player with the ball, and Meath will bring it up the field again in the direction of Jane Dolan, racing out to try and keep this ball in play. She might just win the race. No, it just trickled out over the line. She thought herself she might have gotten it, but I think it just trickled over before she got the touch, and Kerry are going to restart the action inside their own 20-metre line. Jane Dolan just looks like she's picked up a bit of a strain, but she's okay to continue and takes her place beside Elaine Ryle, as Sarah Murphy will take this sideline cut inside the 20-metre line, plays it along the ground. Jane Dolan did get a touch in it there. Elaine Ryle in the middle of it as well. Meath have the ball again out towards Aoife Maguire. She needed a couple of goals and she didn't get it, and Kerry get the bodies in. I think 5-6 Kerry players all within touching range there, but they haven't worked out what to do with the ball. Edel Slattery gives it to Sarah Murphy, and Sarah Murphy will send it down as they try and make a 2-on-2 attack. That ball will stay in play. That's going to go out over the line. It's going to be a line ball for Meath. Katie O'Dwyer will be entering the field for Kerry shortly.
Yeah, super clearance, I suppose, distance-wise from Sarah Murphy, but just couldn't keep it in play, and I suppose that's the payoff of trying to avoid that spare player down there. You know, Sophia Payne has been like a magnet to the ball down there, and again, she was the one that was coming up on that free ball, on that free clearance, so Sarah Murphy doing her best to try and keep it wide and give her forwards a chance, but just too wide on that occasion, and out over the sideline, and a chance for Meath now to build from the back again.
Katie O'Dwyer has come on. She replaces Anne-Marie Lean. That's the substitution for Kerry, taking place in the 14th minute of the second half. Meath restart the action out towards the 65-metre line. Aoife Behan with a touch there, but Amy Gaffney comes in and fights for the ball. Players are throwing their bodies in the way. They're trying to break momentum for the other team. Hurls are getting dropped on the ground. I think a hurl was dropped there, but play continues on. Kerry have the ball. Julianne O'Keefe is blocked by Aoife Minogue, and Ellen Burke comes in to help out as well. Julianne O'Keefe there again, so is Aoife Minogue. Aoife Minogue gives it out to Ellen Burke, and Ellen Burke along the ground down for Jane Dolan. Jane Dolan doesn't get it the first time of asking, but does enough to get inside Sarah Murphy, but nearly did. The Kerry fullback staying tight with her, but gives away the foul in the process. Meath win the free, and Jane Dolan will get another shot at the post.
Yeah, and that's a huge battle going on the edge of the square there, or wherever the two of them happen to meet. But you know, Sarah Murphy doing really, really well again on that occasion. Just unlucky, I think, to be blown for that free again. And I think any of those 50-50 calls, she's just coming out the wrong side of them at the moment.
So Jane Dolan has already scored 6 points in this match, looking for her magnificent 7th outside the 20-metre line. Far side of the field, attacking the goal to the right. Can she put 9 points between them? It's an 8-point ball game. Jane Dolan, the 6-time Storian star, goes for a shot at the post, puts the ball over the bar. We're hitting the 3-quarter mark, and Meath have 1 foot in the semi-finals. It's 13 points to 4.
Yeah, lovely free from Jane Dolan. They're not the easiest ones from the angle across the goal with whatever breeze that's there, but judged it really, really well and floated it lovely over the bar.
Again, the puck out, finding a Meath player, finds Sophia Payne, looking around for options, sends it down towards the right side of the field, towards the corner, hoping to find Aideen Slattery. Grace Coleman comes in to get involved as well. Kerry bodies getting in the way, and good work there by Patrice Diggin to win the ball for Kerry and send it out the field in the direction of Julianne O'Keefe. Julianne O'Keefe and Caoimhe Spillane both there, but Julianne O'Keefe has controlled the ball. She didn't take it though, and Ellen Burke now has it for Meath inside the 65-metre line. Has the space in front of her, continues on the run inside the 45. Wonder will she go for a shot? No, she gives it to Jane Dolan, and the referee has blown the whistle. I'm trying to work out as he signalled a free in for a foul. No, it's a free out, so Kerry will get us a reprieve.
I'm not sure if he signalled there for 3 catches maybe, I think, but I think that's what the signal is, and there's no dispute from Meath, so Kerry led off for them and a chance just to get down the other end of the field now.
So Sarah Murphy takes the free down for Caoimhe Spillane. Caoimhe Spillane just outside the 20-metre line, being marked tightly by Tracy King. And Tracy King there doesn't get the ball. Nice ball inside for Amy O'Sullivan. Amy O'Sullivan trying to wiggle her way inside. Has support if she wants to use it. Gives the ball off. This is a chance for Kerry. A low shot. A goal! A goal for Kerry through the crowd of people. It's Caoimhe Spillane. Did we not say she was a player to watch? She decided to send it through the bodies. And Elaine, here's the goal here in front of us. What a great goal.
Yeah, and that's the kind of build-up what we'll be talking about from Kerry. You know, Amy O'Sullivan, super ball across, and I suppose the nerve of Caoimhe Spillane to have the shot from there outside the 21, as you said, through a myriad of bodies in there, but she's been threatening that all day. She's probably been Kerry's best forward, probably seen more of her running at that attack, but just goes to show there that when the opportunity presents, she's well able to snatch a goal. A
goal for Kerry, 1-4 to Kerry, 13 points to Meath. Is that the moment this game is going to turn? The next score is critical. Meath have the ball, and they try to weave the way inside the 45-metre line. Right in front of us is Aoife Maguire, hits off the stick of Edel Slattery. She lost her hurl for a moment. Elaine Royal breaks it down, but Meath still getting first the most of the 50-50s. Sinead Hackett fighting for the ball, so is Anya O'Connor, gets away from her, and it's going to be a sideline cut for Meath. Right in front of us here in the commentary box, and Meath just need to keep cool heads. They are in control on the scoreboard. They lead by 6 points, and everything slows itself down, and Aoife Maguire, who captained Meath to a National Division 2 league title back in 2016, is going to take the sideline cut and just take her time and gets underneath the ball, sending it down towards the goal. A touch there from Caoimhe Spillane, but ball stays in play, and Kerry will try and bring the ball out the field. They know if they can get the next score, they can put some doubts in the Meath supporters that are here, but again struggling to maintain a fluid movement to play, and Meath have a sideline cut, and Jane Dolan 20 yards out, acute angle. I think Amy Gaffney is at a bit of distress at the moment, so we're just going to have a hold up in play for that. But she's walking back on the field of play, doesn't want any treatment. And Jane Dolan to take the sideline cut. Has Sinead Hackett beside her if she wants to use her. I think she's thinking about it. But she didn't think about it too well, because it's won by Elaine Ryle, and she gives the pass over Tracy King, and Tracy King will try and bring the ball out the field again, but Meath again fighting for those scraps, and it's Cueva Spillane in the middle there for Kerry as well. She has the ball, needs to get past 4 Meath players. They got in her way. It's going to be a free out for Kerry.
She got past them some way or another. I think some of them came out with her, but super from a girl who just popped up on the 21 a few minutes ago to get that super goal. Popped up on her own end line there a few minutes ago to try and relieve the pressure down there, and you could nearly feel the pressure of that last ball when it dropped. That both teams knew that it was one to really try and win, to try and get Kerry back in this game, or for Meath to try and gain a bit of control again. But that goal from Cueva Spillane certainly has given Kerry a little bit of belief here now.
Patrice Diggin had the clearance for Kerry, but it was won back by Meath, and it goes out over the line. So, like the rugby line touches at the moment, is just bouncing from left to right as the Del Slattery chases the ball. Just 11 minutes to go here in MW Hire O'Moore Park in Portlaoise. This is the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie Championship quarter-final. 6 points between the teams. It's Kerry 1-4, 7 points in anyone's language. Meath 13 points, no score since the Kerry goal from Cueva Spillane. A lot of breaks in play as both teams try and steal a few yards. Aoife Minogue is wasn't arguing with Conor Quinlan. I think the referee was signalling one way, but either way Meath have gotten their ball, so it's going to be Maeve Clintz from Dunboyne to restart the action towards the 45 metre line, but it's the other number 6 Patrice Diggin that has it, drives it down the field. Can she find a Kerry player here? Can Kerry get the score to turn this game around? A wooden bounce for Amy O'Sullivan, and Sophia Payne, the player that wins the ball for Meath, moves it up the field, sends it into the space, but it's only going to come as far as Cueva Spillane. Cueva Spillane plays it along the ground down for Amy O'Sullivan. Tracy King tried to pull her off, but Amy O'Sullivan has the ball moving down the right, going to send the ball in the direction of Julianne O'Keefe. Can she get a touch in this? Meath needs to be careful. The referee has blown the whistle. Eva McGuire was coming out to meet the ball. I think it was a foul on Amy O'Sullivan earlier on, so it might be a Kerry free in.
Yeah, I think it could have been a late block out on the sideline on Amy O'Sullivan as she sent that ball in, but how dangerous was that ball coming across the square, and the Meath full back line really had to be alert to it. And you know, without Claire Coffey in there, and from a Kerry point of view, what you wouldn't have paid to have Jackie Horgan on the edge of the square to have a ball like that dropping in across on her. But you know, as I said, Kerry now just starting to believe a little bit, and starting to just ask some questions of Meath.
Patrice Diggin is getting herself in position for the free. Amy O'Sullivan obviously not comfortable enough to have a go at this, and will she go for a point, or will she try and drop it in? There's still plenty of time to get a few points. They've gotten the one goal that gets them back into the game. It's important they follow that up with a point, and Patrice Diggin is the player that's going to take this free, far side of the field, attacking the goal to the left, outside the 20 metre line. There's a Meath player on the ground as well, Elaine. Yeah,
I think it's Ellen Burke just got in on the end of that melee there as the ball dropped on the edge of the square, and I'm not sure if she just took a bit of a knock, but she's certainly down there getting a little bit of attention, so that's just going to be a hold up in play, and just leaves Patrice Diggins with a couple more seconds to buy just before she gets to take the free.
So Ellen Burke thankfully is okay. She's worked hard for Meath in this match, but Patrice Diggin is going to take the free, the far side of the field, and it's a difficult enough angle. Now she's well able to get it. She's only got 1 point in the game so far, and there seems to be lots going on around the field of play. The fourth official was on the pitch for a moment there. I'm not too sure he was having a chat with Anya O'Connor, or she was chatting to him. But I think we're ready to resume Camogie, is what we're here for. Just over 8 minutes to go. Philip McDonald from Cavan just checking that everything is okay, and it's a Kerry free to try and bring this back to a 5-point ball game, or maybe even more. What will Patrice Diggin do? So again, we go quite for the free, and she's going to hit it with venom, hit it towards the post, puts the ball over the bar. It's important that she got that score after all the hold-ups. 8 minutes to go, 5 points between them. Kerry still in this match.
Yeah, and did really well to hold her nerve there. You know, as I said, it wasn't an easy free, and had that couple of extra seconds to try and bide a bit of time while the Meath midfielder got a bit of attention there. So had to be really, really composed. But look, that's what Patrice Diggin does best for you.
Aoife Minogue has an opportunity for hit Meath there. She's moving within range, goes for a shot, a goal for Meath. A goal for Meath, and Aoife Minogue, when she gets in range like that, she always fancies having a go. A bullet to the back of the net, and it's 113 to 1-5.
Yeah, goal all of her own making, you know, won her own ball herself, carried it forward, saw the gap in that Kerry defence, and, you know, had the easy shot off her left if she wanted it for a point, but knew that it was there for the taking and went for the jugular, and what a rocket off her right hand side then, straight through the goal, and gave Emma Lawler no chance.
Is that the score that's going to book Meath's passage to UPMC Nolan Park in 2 weeks' time? You would feel it will be, but Kerry won't give up. 7 minutes to go, 8 points between the teams. And there's a problem. So Patrice Diggin was about to take a sideline cut there, and we're going to restart play again anyway. Not too sure exactly what happened there, but either way, it's down in the direction of Sophia Payne, but it's won by Aoife Behan. Aoife Behan inside the 65-metre line. Great work from Sophia Payne. She wins the ball again for Meath. And support there from Grace Coleman has come back to help out the defensive cause. Gives the pass out in the direction of Anya Keogh. Anya Keogh along the ground, sending it towards the attackers. Amy Gaffney tries to get away from Anya O'Connor. Meath in possession of the ball. Aoife Maguire, great block down there by Anya O'Connor, the Kerry number 5. Turns on her right hand side, sends it towards the middle, but only as far as Grace Coleman. Plenty of time to have a shot at the post. Grace Coleman goes for the shot. It goes to the left and wide, and I think it's only their second wide off their half. 11 in total, but Meath hold on to their advantage.
Yeah, hold on to their advantage, but great pressure on Grace Coleman. Found the ball, I suppose, popped out to her in a little bit of space, thought she had more time, but Kerry closed her down quickly, forced the shot and just forced the ball out left and wide.
Kerry with the ball inside their own 45-metre line, dropping in the direction of Amy O'Sullivan. Didn't happen for her, and again the space for Meath, space for Aoife Minogue. She'd more time if she wanted to use it, but she backed herself to put the ball over the bar. 114 to 1-5. Elaine, I think in the last minute and a half, Aoife Minogue has wrapped up this match with 1-1.
Yeah, I certainly think she's put the nail in the Kerry coffin on the scoreboard, but super work again there at the back. Amy O'Sullivan went to win that ball for Kerry, found herself surrounded by 2 or 3 Meath defenders, and that's what ultimately broke it up for Aoife Minogue up front, and a super score from her when she did get the opportunity, and here she goes again.
Aoife Minogue on the move again outside the 45-metre line. She works her way inside, a hand pass inside in the direction of Amy Gaffney. Amy Gaffney gets a roll. Good defending from Sarah Murphy. Amy will get another go. Amy Gaffney with that shot. There's 10 points between them. Amy Gaffney puts the ball over the bar. We have been critical of Meath with their missed chances in the game. They faded out, like Kerry back into it, but in the last couple of moments they're really stepping up.
Yeah, Aoife Minogue really come to the fore again there. A super take, lost the boot initially, but great endeavour to swap hands to get that long ball in over the top from the hand pass into Amy Gaffney's path, and had the opportunity maybe to slip it inside again to the player inside her. Didn't use it, but got the shot away herself, had her advantage, and happy to take the shot and take the score.
And Sophia Payne wins the free again, takes it herself, gets on with it straight away. It's where Meath were chasing the score. They're so determined to move it quickly. Good ball down from Grace Coleman in towards the attack, and this might work out. The pass from Aideen Slarry to Sinead Hackett not working out. Jane Dolan goes to ground, and Sarah Murphy will bring the ball up the field, gives it to Rachel McCarthy. Rachel McCarthy on the 45-metre line. Queen of Spillane in front. We're watching Rachel McCarthy goes with the hand pass. Good interception again from Aoife Minogue. It's going to be a Kerry ball, and just there as we look at the clock, 4 minutes to go. Elaine, you'll be having a think about the players that have impressed you. We'll do the Glen Dimplex player of the match in just a couple of minutes as Meath on their way to the All-Ireland semi-final. Sarah Lawler is coming on the field of play for Kerry. She is going to replace number 9 Ellen O'Donoghue, and I can also tell you that Anya McNerney will be entering the field of play shortly for Meath, and I think she's coming on for Ellen Burke. Maybe that might be to do with the injury she picked up there. Oh, there's 2 for Kerry, sorry, my apologies. 2 number 19s are coming on, so trying to keep up with this. Well, we can tell you that Sarah Lawler did come on the field of play for Ellen O'Donoghue. Kate Buckley is on the pitch for Kerry. She's replacing Aoife Behan, and Aoife Maguire is coming off the field of play for Anya McInerney, and Kerry are now bringing on Cara Cullen. She'll replace Kate Lynch. Elaine, I think I managed to keep up with all that.
I think you did, because I lost it after about the second or third one there. There was 3 or 4 subs introduced quickly there, and look, I suppose from Kerry maybe a chance just to thank the girls and get a bit of a run in for the girls that have trained so diligently all year for them, and from Meath, look, they've won now on an All-Ireland semi-final, so looking to see maybe what some of their panel is made of.
Yeah, the Meath substitution just been announced there as well. We'll watch this Kerry attack beforehand to see what goes on. And Aoife Minogue back in the mix there as well. Sophia Payne in the middle of it all there too. And Kerry just with bodies in the way, trying to find a gap to work it out. The referee is going to throw that ball in, and the right decision on that occasion. Nobody was winning that particular stalemate, so it'll be Anya Keogh up against Patrice Diggin, who has pushed forward for Kerry in the last couple of moments. She's covered a lot of attacking ground in the half, it has to be said, but it's definitely in the attacking half for the final stages of this match as Kerry try and see, can they do something incredible to get themselves back in this game. Again, Elaine, while all this is going on there, we'll break if there's any score. Let's have a look at the contenders for the Glen Dimplex Camogie player of the match and your overall winner.
Yeah, look, from a Kerry point of view, I think at the back, Sarah Murphy defended gallantly there at full back for the day. No mean task to be on Jane Dolan for a full 60 minutes, and got caught for a couple of frees, but I thought defended really, really well. And up front, look, I think really Cuevas Spillane was probably the one that brought the biggest fight to Meath up front, and a super score from her in that goal, you know, probably deserving of the amount of work that she got through in that half, and probably just didn't have quite the support play up front when they were forced to take off Jackie Horgan through injury.
Patrice Diggin taking that free for Kerry, which is a break of the moment. It falls on top of the net, so it does go over the bar. Kerry get the score, brings it back to 115 to 1-6, and I'll let you continue on, Elaine.
Yeah, and just from a Meath point of view then, I think, you know, Claire Coffey, a full back before she had to go off injured, had made two massive catches. She was really impressive there, as was Maeve Clinch at the back, Tracy King, and up front then, look, I think they had match winners all over. You know, we spoke Aoife Maguire putting the nail in the Kerry coffin there with 1-1 in quick succession there, and Jane Dolan absolutely unerring for the freeze and a real target woman on the edge of the square. I suppose special mention Sophia Payne at the back, plays that spare player role, as you said in commentary, not the biggest player on the field, but certainly gets on the most ball and is really clever with her delivery. But I think overall for the 60 minutes today, I thought Grace Coleman did a superb job at centre forward, you know, picking up Patrice Diggin. As said, no mean achievement in itself, set the tone early with that overhead flick for the point, her first point, but got a second point in that second half. But I think just has been really industrious for the full 60 minutes for Kerry. So overall for me, Grace Coleman at number 9 was the standout player of the match.
So Grace Coleman Meath's number 9 is the player of the match. I'm just seeing Aoife Bean going off the field to play there now. I'm not too sure if Kerry were going around with 16 players for a moment, but she has gone off the field to play. Meath are making substitutions. Number 22 Emma Regan is going to come on. She is going to replace Maeve Clintz, and Niamh Daly is also entering the field to play for Meath, and she's coming on for Sinead Hackett. So both managements now just emptying the benches.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's probably about running down the clock as much as anything now. Meath know they had 115 to 1-6. They have this game in the bag, and look, one eye now on an All-Ireland semi-final, and whoever their opponents may be in that in 2 weeks' time.
We haven't seen from the fourth official exactly how much out of time is going. It's 4 minutes we're going to have. He must have heard me talking about him. So the fourth official says 4 minutes. We're gone past the 30. Patrice Diggin with the free for Kerry, and hurls were going in there, but nobody getting the vital touch. And there is Leah Devine bringing it out the field to play for Meath, and up towards the middle to Aoife Minogue. And Aoife Minogue with all the time again in the world, and she could have got a few more yards. But look, when you're that good, why do you need a few yards for? Aoife Minogue puts the ball over the bar, 116 to 1-6.
Yeah, look, and if the goal and the point before that weren't the nail, that's exactly the hammer and the nail. That's job done for her, and a super error of hurling again from her for Meath, and a real target woman in that half forward line, caught puck outs and scored, finished with I think 1-3 today.
Great round of applause there for Maeve Clintz from the Meath supporters as she was coming back in toward the substitutes or Caesars here in the main stand. Meath sending the ball down. 3 more minutes to dress up the scoreboard here, and on the move is Niamh Daly. Niamh Daly, wearing number 18, sends the ball inside in the direction of Jane Dolan. Might break for Anya McNerney, but the referee has blown the whistle for a chop down, so it's going to be a free in for Meath. Jane Dolan is just looking for the ball. She will be taking the free out on the right, and Meath, I suppose now, Elaine, the question is, well, asking them to get to 20 points is probably a bit of an ask at the moment. They want to add a few more scores.
Yeah, they will. Look, and as you said, 20 points probably a little bit too much for them today, but still it's good score. And you know, if she puts this over, we've got 117. It's a good day's work for them, considering the amount of scores they left behind in that first half. They've certainly been more economical in the second half, and look, similar enough to Derry. It's not a bad position to be heading for an All-Ireland semi-final with something to work on for the next 2 weeks.
So Jane Dolan puts that free over the bar, and just in case you missed it, to repeat that Meath's number 9, Grace Coleman, is the Glen Dimplex player of the match. We'll be hearing from Grace at the end of the game. Meath on their way to join Cork, Galway and Derry in UPMC Nolan Park on the 23rd of July. That's this day of 2 weeks. Another Super Saturday of camogie across 3 tiers. We have the Premier Junior semi-finals taking place in Bordnamona O'Connor Park in Tullamore as well that day. Armagh against Cavan, Clare against Antrim, and of course in Croke Park we'll have the All-Ireland semi-finals. We'll watch this. And Aoife Minogue first coming through for a shot. I didn't know where that ball went, but it's gone in the goal. She hit that ball so hard I couldn't even see it, but it's a goal for me, the second goal for Aoife Minogue, 217 to 1-6.
No, I saw Aoife Minogue on the run, and I saw the net rattling, and you know, put 2 and 2 together, the kind of form she's in today, you can only assume what might have happened, but super stride. And again, just taking on that Kerry full back line, and you know, full back line is obviously a little bit tired on its last legs, and Aoife Minogue really starting to make hay in there.
I just looked at the replay there while you were going through it and I still couldn't see the ball. That's how hard she hit it. But Aoife Minogue gets her second goal of the day, 2-17 to 1-6. Meath in cruise control. And like, I suppose the one thing for Brendan Skehan, Elaine, is that like over the course of the match, Meath made an awful lot of mistakes, especially in the first half as well. When you look at that scoreline, it looks like they were dominant. They've a lot they can work on as well. And you know what? There might be Ford favourites going into those semi-finals. We watch Amy O'Sullivan first with the shot for Kerry, puts the ball over the bar to make it 2-17 to 1-7. But they'll have work to do there, and if they get that work done in the next 2 weeks, they'll have a crack.
Yeah, look, you put up a score like 2-17 and you still leave probably 9 or 10 points maybe out there at different times in the game. So as you said, like, it's a lovely position to be in for Brendan Skehan and his management team. You go back to training during the week, happy in the performance. You got the win in the quarter final, but still plenty to work on before they face whoever, be that Cork or Galway or Derry in the semi-final in 2 weeks' time.
There will be an open draw that will take place over the weekend or on Monday by the Camogie Association. That effort from Patrice Diggin goes to the left and wide. The scoreboard is correct on your screen here. It hasn't been changed in Portlaoise. It's 2-17 to 1-7 to Meath. The 4 minutes have been played. It's all over, and Meath join Cork, Galway and Derry in the semi-finals of the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie Championship. 2 goals from Aoife Minogue dressing up the scoreboard in the end. Elaine Aylward, your overall thoughts on the match?
Yeah, look, similar enough to the first game. A real credible performance for Kerry for a lot of that first half, and probably a lot of it maybe down to some of the errors that Meath made, but Kerry forced a lot of those errors as well, and I suppose just when they needed them they probably just didn't have the legs. Jackie Horgan, a huge loss, and we saw in the first half how important she was for them. Her having to come off was obviously a big blow, but look, I think Meath probably getting the job done eventually. They were the overwhelming favourites coming into it, and certainly by the end of that second half really finished with a flurry to show why they were deservingly the favourites. But look, for long times in that first half Kerry kept them very, very honest, made them work really, really hard for it, and look, Kerry can be proud of that performance, and Meath, as I said, roll on now to a semi-final with things to work on, but happy to have racked up a 2-17 score today.
They're back in the semi-final as well. Dominant finish in the end. Don't go away. We're going to go chat to the player of the match, Grace Coleman, in just a moment. That's Meath's Grace Coleman, has just been announced here by the stadium announcer. So the final score here in the top right of your screen in the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie Championship. Meath the winners by 13 points. 2-17 to Meath, 1-7 to Kerry. We'll be back in a couple of moments. Thank you very much and welcome back here to MW Hire O'Moore Park in Portlaoise. It's not something you would have expected a couple of weeks ago, you have to be honest.
No, we were fighting relegation there a couple of weeks ago, and now we're out the other side of it, thankfully, which is great.
Tell us about the game. You started off with intent, you got an early point in this match, but you were struggling to nail the scores and build up an advantage.
I think we were just nervous going into it and kind of had to settle, but sure, once we settled into it, we hit the ground running and we just took off from there.
The 6 points in the second quarter, very, very important. It was important to go in with something to hold at half time, but when it came to the second half, then you gradually started pulling away further.
Oh yeah, I suppose we just foot in the throat and kept going at it and didn't give them a chance to get back into it.
You worked hard throughout the field. You were back in defence yourself on occasions as well, mopping up ball too. Sophia Payne there, Claire Coffey before she went off injured as well. It was important to stop Kerry getting any sniff.
Oh, absolutely. Just keep them out of goals. That's what we had to do, and I think they only got the one, which we were happy enough with.
And of course, creating the opportunities. We have to give Aoife Minogue a special mention. 2 goals
class,
to dress it up.
Class, yeah. You can't take that away from her. She's absolutely unbelievable.
Grace, what does this mean to Meath now? Because after losing the first 3 games, of course, it looked like you were going out at the championship or trying to survive. But what a way you've turned it around. 3 victories, all by more than 10 points.
I just think it's great for us, to keep going at it, and the girls that are on the team the last couple of years, just to finish out the year now and hopefully get to the big stage.
Cork, Galway, Derry, any favourites?
No, we'll take them all on.
Well, you're going to Nolan Park in 2 weeks' time. Well done.
Absolutely,
You are the
Glen
Dimplex player of the match. Grace Coleman
Cheers,
from me.
thanks very much.
Thanks a million for that, Grace.
Cheers, thanks.
And that was Grace Coleman there for me, the Glen Dimplex player of the match, and Elaine Aylward is just going to come back up and join me here now for the closing stages of this game. And do you know what? Confident and rightfully so. They put in a performance. They put themselves back in the hunt of this championship. And as we mentioned in the commentary, while there might be outsiders to some people, you're very, very careful when you rule out any Meath team, whether it's camogie or football.
Yeah, look, and their stock just keeps rising. You know, we said their trajectory was on the way up, on the way in here. It's certainly gone a bit higher there again today. Put up a big score, and as we said in commentary, things to work on going into an All-Ireland semi-final. They were there last year. They left with regrets from Nolan Park last year. What more motivation would you want for 2 weeks of training heading into another All-Ireland semi-final? You don't want to leave Nolan Park in 2 weeks' time with those regrets again.
And the one thing they showed is the ruthless streak as well. They kept going for scores. There were stages you'd look at it and you'd think that they were the one chasing down a deficit as well. They wanted to move the ball quickly. They wanted to get it within range. They got the goals from Aoife Minogue as well, but they were always looking to add to their tally.
Yeah, and look, I think they showed that intent from the start. They started the fastest. They were moving the ball quick through the lines. As we said at half time, look, the finish didn't quite match the build-up play a lot of the time, but you could see what they were trying to do. And when they did it really, really well. And right up to the last minute there, Aoife Minogue with 1-2 in the last couple of minutes, super scores from her. And as you said, that ruthlessness right to the end. And look, Meath have suffered a couple of defeats in this championship. They know what it's like to have that pain of defeat. They suffered it in the All-Ireland semi-final this year. They're bound to be ruthless this year. If they want to get back to Croke Park, they'll have to be.
It does ease the pressure a bit when you were in a situation like that. And even Grace admitted herself 3 weeks ago, we didn't expect to be talking about an All-Ireland semi-final, but now the shackles are off. You go out and you hurl. You put in 3 big performances. It's not just today, like the result against Kilkenny last week, the result against Kildare when they were under pressure. They do it here against Kerry too, and they're moving forward, and they'll move forward with confidence.
Yeah, look, today is the first day they probably came into a game as favourites this year. Poor start to the championship, and probably went with a bit of hope maybe to Kilkenny last weekend. Outside of the camp, you wouldn't have expected that performance, and they got it last weekend, and they came in then rightly as favourites today. And look, as we said, no matter who they draw maybe in that semi-final, they'll probably go in as a little bit of underdogs again. But look, as you said, 4 weeks ago, they had nothing to lose in this championship. They were literally talking about battling relegation. So to go from there to an All-Ireland semi-final, to be the last 4 of the competition, look, they'll have nothing to lose into a semi-final, and that can be a dangerous beast for someone to have to face into.
On the flip side, Kerry started off with 3 wins as well, but the rug has kind of been pulled out since. Of course, there was the disappointment last weekend. Nothing they really tried here today worked. No,
look, and ultimately scores win games, and the 2 teams that won here today racked up, I think, 23 and 17 points. Like, when you look at the other hand, Kerry had stayed in the game in the first half, had 3 points at half time and finished with 1-7. Their scoring has really dried up in the last couple of rounds, and look, that's probably down to the injury to Jackie Horgan as much as anything. But you need to be scoring to win games, and as I said, Patrice Diggins does a job for them at centre back, holds that centre back position, but you can see what she does when she gets up forward as well, and it's probably a toss of a coin then whether you risk conceding more at the back to have her further up the field. And look, ultimately that didn't pay off for Kerry this year, I don't think.
One player that caught your eye, of course, was Caoimhe Spillane as well. She always looked dangerous, always wanted to run at the Meath defence as well. Did get a superb goal too, and I suppose for Kerry going forward, if they can get 2 or 3 more Caoimhe Spillanes like that, just to run, take on the opposition, it could open up doors in 2023.
Absolutely, look, and that's where Kerry have to aim to build. They've got gotten new clubs involved now. They have an underage structure coming through, and they need that within Kerry themselves to try and build to get up back onto the county scene. If you look at where this Meath team have been for the last couple of years, and you look at the experience that's there, the likes of the Cuevas Plans, they learn so much from playing this kind of knockout championship camogie, and I suppose it's just to take that next step then to bridge the gap. And look, when you're pulling from a small pool of players and you pick up a couple of injuries, it ultimately does cost you. But for the likes of Cuevas Plan and stuff, there's bright futures ahead for Kerry and for Kerry camogie.
Great work being done there as well. But today's Meath's day, and of course earlier on was Derry's day as well. Derry and Meath joining Cork and Galway. Anybody you fancy winning the Jack McGrath Cup?
Yeah, look, I suppose the two favourites probably came out eventually today after two battles and two battling performances, you'd have to say, from Kerry and Dublin. Look, I saw Galway Intermediates last weekend up in Athenry. I thought they looked really impressive. I thought they looked like a team that wouldn't be out of place at senior hurling. But look, semi-finals are there for winning, and they can throw up surprises. The pairings will be interesting to see now during the week. And then look, if you get a Cork team back in Croke Park, who's going to back against a Cork team in Croke Park? So look, it's a wide open championship with the 4 teams still left in, and I think everyone is in with a fighting chance still.
And there are semi-finals that we're really looking forward to in 2 weeks' time. Elaine Aylwood, thanks a million for joining me in the commentary box today for the 2 games that we streamed here in association with Entry. Earlier on, Derry beat Dublin by 123 to 110, but there in the end, Meath beating Kerry 217 to 17. We can tell you it's a busy few weeks coming up in camogie, and catch your TVs next week for the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie quarter-finals taking place in FBD Simple Stadium. Waterford against Limerick, that's at 3:15, followed by Kilkenny against Dublin at 5:30. Both games live on RTE. As will the semi-finals the following week. But join us again if you enjoyed our coverage of the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Intermediate Championship semi-finals. They'll be in UPMC Nolan Park in 2 weeks' time, the 23rd of July, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. We don't have the pairings yet, but we certainly know we've 4 great teams battling to get to Croke Park: Cork, Galway, Derry and Meath. It's certainly something to look forward to. But that's it here for our coverage today in MW Hire O'Moore Park in Portlaoise. Commiserations to Dublin and Kerry on your defeats. Congratulations to Derry and Meath. We hope you enjoyed the coverage. With that being said, I'm Darren Kelly. This was Elaine Aylwood. We'd like to thank all the gang from Entry, and we wrap up here with the final score in our second game: Meath 217, Kerry 17.